Wesley here from ThirstGym.com, and today we're talking about an exercise called the split stance tripod dumbbell row. All right, for this exercise, what you're going to need is ideally a bench, something you can put your hand on for support to be able to create our tripod position, but then we're also going to need a dumbbell as well. And so I'm going to show this from a couple different angles for you, but the key thing here is for most people, this is your standard dumbbell row, but I like differentiating where my stances are here, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So dumbbells in one hand, the tripod position, the hand is going to be on the bench, my back is flat. With it being a split stance, we're going to have one leg biased forward, one leg biased back, up on our toe here. Now with my hand here, I can now make sure that my body stays square towards the ground. At no point do I want to have my chest facing up at an angle as I go to do this. I actually have that dumbbell pull my body down, so I'm flat across my back, and my belly button's down towards the ground, my back leg's on my toe, front foot's completely flat. Then I'm gonna take that elbow, drive it back as I go to do my dumbbell row. So again, as most people call a regular dumbbell row, but for me it's a split stance because we're emphasizing that position, and then I can switch sides. Now, the reason I like the split stance is because it lets us get incredibly long in the lat as we're in that position. So by having a lengthened lat in that bottom position, more so than say just like a regular tripod where our feet are parallel or any other kind of dumbbell variation, they can help us maximize my hypertrophy, getting a nice big range of motion as we're doing the exercise. You're still gonna get obviously your traps, your rhomboids, all that engaged as well. For most people, they find they can load this up pretty heavy. However, the big pitfall that I see is that people really start to cheat the exercise, right? They really start to use a lot of body English. While there can be a time and a place for that, most people are going to want to focus on keeping their torso rigid and trying to let their arm get as long as possible and then pulling up as high as possible, maximizing their back development and feeling that contraction in their lats and their upper back. This is definitely a great upper body back exercise. I can't recommend it enough. I do think, again, it's probably a pretty big staple in a lot of training programs that you will see, just a regular dumbbell row. And by having that supported option, we can get the abdominal midsection involved a little bit as well. But the dumbbell is also going to pull us into that front stance hip a little bit more, so you could potentially even get some extra hip mobility gains if you really focus on sitting into that hip as you're doing that and staying pulled into it from the dumbbell, pulling across your body and driving your body into that hip. Again, totally optional if you really want to nerd out there. Now, my recommendations here for this exercise is we can anywhere from 2 to 5 sets of anywhere from 6 to 15, maybe even 20 reps if you really want to get crazy. Most people are going to fall in like 3 to 4 sets of usually 8 to 12 reps in that general hypertrophy range, but you can make a case for a really big range of this exercise depending on what you're really trying to get out of it. So you can go really heavy, you can go with a lot of reps to really, tax your upper back conditioning, tax your grip a little bit, and anything in between. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks, have a great day.